Big Ben. New venture for Big Ben. He's got a podcast, and he shoots it not from an empty restaurant in Pittsburgh. That's his basement.
I was going to say that's a basement look. That's not.
That's what you get. That's what you get when you spend about 20 years in the NFL making market value. You have a restaurant in your basement. And look, I love the fact that he's doing this because remember, he used to do those weekly spots on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, and he would stir things up, not even realizing he was stirring things up. So he's going to be an interesting presence from the outside as the Steelers move forward without him. And he's 1 for 1, at least as it relates to roster decisions, Chris, because even though we haven't gotten the announcement, team captain, not Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky. Listed on the depth chart the Steelers issued yesterday with no fanfare whatsoever. Trubisky 1, Mason Rudolph 2, Kenny Pickett 3. Trubisky is the guy when they go to Cincinnati on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think that's shocking to us, though, right? We talked about this last week. It seemed like those were the signals they were giving us. Every game he started, especially the last preseason game against the Lions, plays basically the whole first half, right? There's all of that. The fact that we never really heard any rumors, as we discussed, of like training camp. Oh, Pickett's getting significant number one reps with that team, or Mason Rudolph. So not surprised by this at all. And Trubisky, I think, to what we've talked about too, when they signed him, there's a lot of positive with Trubisky. And I think Buffalo in a lot of ways fixed him. I mean, to me, again, even these throws here, he looks different throwing the ball than he did back in Chicago. He's a guy where I think Brian Daboll and company kind of got him straight a little bit with quarterback mechanics and the way he plays now. So he looks good. And then I think you add that to, a veteran who's played a little ball before, dealt with some hostile environments, and, a bad offensive line that we discussed. It's certainly the biggest question about their football team. I think all that makes sense for Trubisky to be the starter.
What fascinated me, because I expected it to be Trubisky. It is odd that we haven't heard from Tomlin.
Yeah,
he hasn't made the announcement, but basically there it is. He does a press conference every Tuesday in season, so we'll hear from him later today. Mason Rudolph at number 2. Chris, my reaction to this is they're shopping the guy. They're showcasing the guy. Hey, he's our number 2. You may not want him if he was our number 3, but he's our number 2.
Well,
he's our backup to Mitch Trubisky. What do you want to give us for our backup, to whom we gave a $2 million signing bonus, and we really don't want to cut because we don't want to eat that money? What do you want to give us for Mason Rudolph?
Well, I think there's definitely that. And then I think there's this other aspect that you'd probably agree with. He's the number 2. If an injury happens this weekend, they'll put him in. But if they then the next week go, wait, Trubisky can't start, I think that's where Pickett becomes number 2 and then becomes number 1, really, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean, Mike?
They do it all the time.
Right.
Game day backup versus the guy who would become the starter if there's a multi-week injury.
Exactly.
Yep,
they don't want to
agree.
throw the rookie into the game day backup situation either. That's not easy. Like, off the bench, whoa, I didn't get to practice at all this week, and I'm a rookie, and now I got to play in a game against, Trey Hendrickson and these dudes, and they're coming after me, and, I didn't get a lot of chances to rep this over. That's where you do want to rely on a Mason Rudolph, certainly. I think that, and then to your point, yes, still shopping him, hoping a team comes and grabs him up. But if there was a question of weight, like you talked about, significant starting time, I think that's when Kenny Pickett would become the guy and jump Mason Rudolph.
So help me understand this based on your experience in the NFL. You got 3 guys on the roster. Obviously, Trubisky's going to get the first team reps this week, if not all of them, the vast majority. What do you do with Rudolph and Pickett? Who runs the scout team? How many reps are there for the other 2 guys if Trubisky's getting the reps with the first team?
I would think that they are going to let them, Rudolph will probably get more of the scout team reps. Kenny Pickett will get a few. And then Rudolph will get a few, let's say it's a 10-period play or 10 play period during practice where they're doing, second and long plays. That's 2nd and 7. Where, okay, we've run 8 of them, and maybe Rudolph gets the last 2 or last 1. Just to go to, and then, hey, now we're going to scout team, and if there's 10 plays here, you get 7 of them, and Kenny Pickett gets 3 of them. But where I would think, and my experience and knowing people around football who have had young quarterbacks, this is where, hey, after practice, Kenny Pickett's going to get, hey, George Pickens, come here. hey, Calvin Austin III, come here, right? Maybe some other young receiver, come here, and we're going to go through the plays in practice today with Kenny Pickett now. He's going to call the plays. Young guys, we're going to go line up, and now we're going to go through the gymnastics of the reads and the plays and all of that. And that's where I would think, try to make up reps for Kenny Pickett in this situation, Mike.
And that just accelerates the process, gets him to a point where he's more ready. And you don't want to have that be a threat to Trubisky, but it's just a reality.
It is,
he knows.
right.
He knows the drill. He knows what's going on.
Exactly.
He knows he's on borrowed time.
Right.
It's just a matter of time before he yields to Kenny Pickett, whether it's after this year or at some point during this year. But interesting to see what happens with Mason Rudolph. Interesting to see what happens if Trubisky struggles and you go back to Pittsburgh and those fans who already love Pickett from his time with Pitt start chanting for the rookie to get into the game. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.